Well, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your friend Don with Aquinas Computers and Gear and Gaming, and today we're going to be talking streaming, as in, can you stream with Intel Arc? Not just Intel Arc, but Intel Arc Battlemage, and does it hold up against comparable NVIDIA cards? So if that interests you guys, stick around. We're going to do a little bit of impromptu testing, and we'll see what we see. All right, so how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to do this by using our little test bench over here. And it is a Ryzen 5 5600X3D running 16 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz DDR4 RAM. And on the NVIDIA side, we're going to run an RTX 2080. Now, you might be asking yourself, why a 2080? Well, the reason we're going to run a 2080 is it's about comparable with the price of a brand new B570, which is going to be our Intel side of things. Yeah, this boy right here. Nice little Arc B570. It's the ASRock Challenger series right there, and it's $220 on Newegg right now. At least that's where I got it. I don't think it's actually there right at the moment of filming anymore. I think it's sold out, but you can pick it up for $220 when it's in stock. And if you go on eBay and look around, RTX 2080 is about $220. It jumps around. You can get them for as low as about $180. I've seen them go for $250. But between all the prices, it averages out to about $220, give or take. So I figured that's the same like for like comparison there when you're talking about it. Like, I could say, hey, does it compare to my 3080 or a 4070 or something like that? But then you're getting into $300, $400, $500 cards, and I don't think that's comparable to a $220 card. So if you were looking to get into streaming and gaming at the same time, and you have, say, $600 to $800 for a computer, and that computer has an NVIDIA card or an ARC card, which do you pick? The CPU is a Ryzen 5 5600X3D. That's a pretty good CPU. I'm trying to be reasonable on how good of a CPU you can get in this price range, but also get it so that the majority of the difference is going to be in the GPU. We're trying to isolate the GPU out a little bit because the CPU is not going to be holding us back. And a 5600X3D, while not a 5800X3D or 5700X3D, is still a 3D chip and runs pretty well. So what we're going to do is we're going to stream to the Aquinas Computers YouTube page using the AV1 technology that's in the Intel Arc card, because that's its big claim to fame, is that it comes with AV1 capability. And we're going to use the NVENC encoder on the 2080. We're going to stream at 1080. Off of this one, we're going to be running a little Logitech C920. I'm going to have my headphones on, and it's all going to be running off of that computer so that we get as vanilla a thing as you can find, a vanilla comparison as you can find for someone who's going to be trying to game and stream on a computer like this. So no shenanigans. It's going to be, this is what your real world experience would be. But I found out that I hadn't asked to stream on my Aquinas Computers account until today. So you're going to notice that my outfit will change. But what we will do is, once we run these tests, because I don't like recording once I know the outcome of them, it kind of, I think, biases me. But what we will do is we will be back. You'll see some of the comparisons, and maybe a voiceover while we look at them, and we'll see what we see. If you want, there'll be timestamps down below. You can jump ahead to our conclusions, or you can watch the like for like. We're going to do a little side by side comparison of both of them, and we will see what we see. So we'll see you on the other side of that, guys. Well, here we are on the comparisons. And first we'll start off with a side-by-side one of the capture straight from YouTube. So what we did is record the YouTube video and the YouTube stream as it happened, because obviously after YouTube processes the live stream, it gets a little bit better. But with YouTube, their 1080p encoding isn't all that great. So I think this is a good, fair side by side of what you're going to see actually as streaming. Now you can see the labels. On one side we have the 2080 and on the other we have the B570. And from what I can tell, they don't look that different. I'm not seeing anything that's pixelated more or less. If I had to put money on it, I would say the B570 is a little bit clearer. I think that's due to the AV1 encoding versus NVENC. You just get more out of each bit in AV1 than you do with the other codecs. So it's not a big difference, but it's there. But I think the big thing to take away from at the bottom of that is neither one looks better than the other. They're both just fine for streaming, especially streaming on a place like YouTube in 1080, because you're not going to see a difference. And when you're talking about purchasing something now, a $300, $400 NVIDIA card at the bottom end versus a $200 Intel card, if you're losing any quality, it is incredibly minute. And moving on, here's a side-by-side comparison of what they looked like after YouTube got done processing them all. So you can see the true output after all the YouTube encoding issues have been smoothed away because it's processed all the way through now. This is what came straight from the streaming software. And again, I think they're very, very similar. It does not look to me like either one has an obvious advantage. You can take a look as we play through it. I'm not going to leave it up there for too long because it all is the same. But you can take a look, and as we go through it, you can tell me down below in the comments if you think one looks better than the other. But from my viewing of it, they look very, very similar. And there you go, guys. Quick and easy, a little dirty. You saw both the raw output of what a stream would look like live and also what it would look like as a VOD later on after YouTube got done processing it. And in my opinion, they all looked very similar. As I said during the side-by-side comparisons, I didn't see anything that was obviously better or worse between the two. So now, with that in mind, I think the value proposition of the ARC card really comes in, because you go out and you buy this. You go and buy a B570, and you can stream to YouTube with the AV1. That's a caveat to that. This has an AV1 encoder on it. If you go out and buy this one for $220, that's quite a good deal, especially compared to something like a 4060, which starts at $300. Now, if you go out, you can pick up a 2070 or a 2080, and you can do this. You can get these about the same price as an ARC card. Maybe you like having DLSS, but you got ZESS with ARC. And this card, an old 2070 or old 2080, is old. It's going to be 5-6 years old by now. Unless you're paying a much higher price, you're buying used. Versus bringing this out, this is brand new in the store, $220. So here's my opinion. My opinion is, if you're just stuck on NVIDIA and you have to get NVIDIA, you can get an old 2000, maybe even getting into like a 3050, 3060 area. You're going to get less gaming performance out of those, but you'll get the NVIDIA encoder if that's just what you want, especially if you're trying to go to Twitch, who doesn't support AV1 yet. But if you're looking for like best bang for the buck, you're willing to stream on YouTube, and you want the best gaming performance and streaming performance for the dollar, My opinion is right now, that's Intel Arc. So let me know what you guys think. Like I've said before, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. If you liked this video, you want to see more content like it, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Also leave me a comment down below so I know you do. And we'll work on it some more. We'll work on other things where we got a lot of hardware starting to come through Aquinas computers here, so we can do more comparisons, CPU comparisons and things like that, if that's what you guys want to see. But you got to let me know. Until then, be well. I hope life treats you good, and we'll see you guys here next time.